You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. So yeah, this is how it goes in the Wicked Cave. We have the most wicked devices from AliExpress, and the reason why, because, yeah, you know, I just want to see if there are any good. There are so many of these things out there, beside the Pow Kitty. So, Jesus, there's like some thick plastic around it, and you never know what you're getting with this. And that's of course one of the missions. I wanted to review these things. So the box itself looks kind of cool. Thick cardboard. That is something of like different. Some of them have like this flimsy cardboard. The packaging is absolutely great. Let's see what we're having inside of the box itself. So then we're having the AV out cable and USB-C, very short cable for charging the device. The toilet paper manual, like always, with some explanation. Let's see if it comes even with some English. Yeah, but this is already like one of the things that gives away what it is. You can just see actually what are the connections. Yep, this is a Powerbank handheld. They have released a lot of them, but this one looks kind of interesting. That's also the reason I picked it up. What's kind of funny that you have like a built-in USB-C or Type-C connection and one for the iPhone. Yep. I can't get it out. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, but besides the cables, what can we actually do with this? That is of course like in an handheld, can we play games and what kind of games? It comes with the stand. That says, okay, what the heck? I would say it comes with a stand. It's a very fragile one, very thin plastic, so it can break fairly easy. So we don't have any shoulder buttons on this device. So we're having the power and, you know, a very strange configuration over here for like using the device. I'm guessing this is for the power bank. It is for powering on the device. So the overall configuration of everything is really cheap. You can just actually see that this is like even not the same clone of a Nintendo Switch joystick. No, this is just a very strange cheap knockoff. The D-pad is not really it's not a D-pad at all, just 4 separate buttons. And when it comes to the 6-button layout, I think it's pretty cool. I love this 6-button layout. I think that's one of the reasons I've picked it up. Volume control over here, select start, and the reset. At the bottom we're finding a lot of extra things. For example, the USB, another USB-C, a micro USB, 2 of them, and I'm guessing these will be used for the controllers. There's another one. And of course we're having over here the micro SD card and the audio jack in. It's an overall very strange configuration with a built-in speaker. And here we're having some overall information about the product itself. But you know, this is the maximum loading capacity, 5 volts 2 amps. But I'm guessing I need to charge the freaking device, because it is just completely not doing anything out of the box. Do you know what's wicked? Charging a handheld with a handheld. Yeah, because this is actually possible. So we're only having 2 different connections, but let's plug this thing in and see if it's going to be charging up. And indeed, you can just see it loads up. The indication, you can see how much juice there is inside of this thing. But yeah, I think that is the most wicked thing we've ever done on the channel here. Charging the handheld with an handheld. Oh yeah. So one of the things I love to do here on the channel is to rip stuff apart if needed. And this is absolutely one of those ways that we're going to be needing to rip it apart, because I just wanted to see how they configured everything in the inside. So they're saying this thing comes with a 10,000 milliamp battery, and I do wonder if this is actually true. Okay, so let's remove these 4, and they hit one on the stand, that flimsy piece of plastic that is going to be breaking off when looking at it for the 3rd time. Okay, so let's remove these and let's check out, can we just open it up? Do we need any pry tool? Yes, we do need a pry tool. And we can use the fingernail very gently to open it up. Alright, so I managed to open it up, and the configuration inside, it's kind of basic, the way I've seen many times before. Okay, so in here we're finding just the 2 cables straight soldered into, let's say, the PCB over here, the plus and minus. To be very genuine, it's not going to be breaking anything off. And yeah, we cannot remove the battery because it has been put on here, but you can just see the size that it is absolutely a beast of a thing. So I cannot say I think they're not lying at all when it comes to this. So when it comes to, let's say, configuration, it's so easy thing they slap together. Nice PCB, just one huge PCB, no separate parts whatsoever. So there's nothing much to see in the inside. Alright, so let's charge it. And I've noticed one thing that is kind of strange. So first of all, if you don't implement the SD card, it will not boot up. Yep, they're using these, let's say, non-branded 32GB cards. So we need to be very careful with these, because they are most of the time low quality. Oh man, there we go. Let's put it back in. And now we're going to be turning it on. It will automatically boot up. It will take a couple of seconds, but I was quite surprised to see that it actually boot up. Oh yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Familiar sound. We have seen it or have heard it a lot. So the display itself, you can just see that it's quite overall good quality. The front glass is just this thick plastic, and this is absolutely not a great overall experience and can be scratched up fairly easy. But one of the things I found very noticeable with this, where this thing has a very nice display, and it also comes with some very nice audio. It's only a mono speaker, but I'm quite surprised with this. So the menu itself is kind of similar to, let's say, the SF2000, I'm saying it correctly, with having the emulation power for Famicom, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Game Boy Classic, the Color, the Advance, and even the Capcom systems. Number 1, number 2, so no CPS3, Neo Geo, and the EGS. No idea what it's for, seriously. Alright. Here we can just start the game, it will load up, and that's actually how it works. Super easy. I don't know what's going on with the audio itself, it's kind of weird. You can just hear how messed up the audio is. You're not going to be telling me that this is normal. Oh. Okay, but let's reset it. Oh boy, everything is in different language. The question remains, can we actually fix that? Here we can change out the PAL or NTCS, the controls, quick load, quick save. And I'm guessing that this is the way how you can restart it. Oh boy, this is absolutely one freaking nightmare. Alright, so let's boot up the device down, let's give it a reset and let's see if we can change out the language. Let's remove the screen protector itself, or the thing that needs to be on top normally. There we go. That's much better. But so far the main problem is that we don't have the option to actually get into the option itself. We have EGS, search folder, and we're just back at the same thing. We cannot change it out over here. With the folder we can just scroll through the system file itself. Everything is in Chinese and nothing can be done over here. The overall software of this thing is absolutely a freaking nightmare. Absolutely. We do have a search function. I'm guessing I can just fairly easily look into this. Let's see, we're having Sonic. Pressing OK. Oh yeah. Okay, nothing seems to be happening there. It's kind of weird, but I'm guessing. Oh, yep, that's the reason why. Because everything is in Chinese. Oh boy. What a hot mess this is. Absolutely. The only thing we can actually try out is just to boot up a game, to reset it, and hoping we can actually find a language setting. But I think we're not going to be finding this any soon, because having the same kind of problem. That's absolutely a serious problem. But let's do some emulation testing. But let's get into the emulation, because I find it a little bit of a disappointing thing. The audio quality of this game seems to be working just fine. And that's always like the major problem with these devices, with basically the non-branded crap you can find on AliExpress. A beautiful display, some okay controls. Let's see if we can use the analog stick. Wow, this thing got some really nice audio. Okay, but next thing we need to do is when you want to go back, the only thing you can do is just pressing actually this over here. That will bring you back to the menu. So I do wonder, like, if you're replacing the files with normal, if you have like a small, let's say, solution, because this is absolutely unforgivable. So the loading times are quite fast of it, so the overall emulation performance is quite positive. Yeah, there is a preview so we can actually see what kind of game it is. Yep. Yeah, so, you know, you can just see how fast it loads up. Everything is just working very well. And that's absolutely one of those things, you know. But getting into the Super NES, I do hear a lot of, let's say, stuttering going on. Oh man, like the D-pad is really bad on this thing. You need to press the button really hard, so this is absolutely like not a very pleasant experience. Where the analog stick is making it up. But that seems to be working just fine. So the emulation performance for a 60-bit Super NES, no, this is not the way I actually want to enjoy the game. But when we're getting into the Mega Drive or Genesis, like the emulation, that seems to be working just fine. So that's surprisingly good. All the sound effects are here. I'm always getting my ass kicked with this game, seriously. Here we go. This is what you're gonna get. Tornado power. Moving on to some Game Boy. Oh yeah. And I can tell you that also surprised like how good this actually runs. We do have turbo, so that's cool. There we go, this is the turbo function. The aspect ratio is not going to be perfect for this game when it comes to the display. But the gameplay. So if this thing would be like in English with normal naming, this would be absolutely great, you know. Would absolutely be amazing. But what is also like funny at this point is that where we have such a great overall emulation performance with, let's say, 16-bit, getting into like the Game Boy Advance, it is completely unplayable. They're thinking, what the heck did happen here? Look at this. It's really, really bad. I know that is thing that I've seen in many different years, that these like devices, it's also like a hot mess. Not only the naming, but just the way how the audio and the overall emulation. You do wonder, don't nobody freaking test these things? What the heck is going on? Oh boy. So let's see, we're having more CPS 1, 2, 3, but let's check out some Neo Geo. Next up, some arcade Neo Geo, and I'm testing the Art of Fighting 3, simply with the reason because this is a more difficult one to emulate. Yeah, you can just already see that it doesn't work at all. Oh, there we go, finally. Oh, this is just unplayable. Also, the button mapping is completely weird, like the R seems to be the A button. Yeah, this is just unplayable. Look at this. So what is kind of interesting when you're getting into the arcade part, this seems to be working just fine, or at least the frames per second. Yeah, but none of the buttons have been mapped, so you can only shoot in one direction. Oh boy, that sound is really awful. But so far that seems to be working just great. Okay, next up some CPS 2, and you can just see how good it actually runs without no problem. And the display looks absolutely great. The D-pad is of course absolutely horrible. I can get a move out. Yeah, but getting the supers out is completely different. Okay. But where the audio is great, the display looks absolutely amazing. This is not bad at all. Absolutely not bad at all. So when it comes to the overall emulation, you can just see that it is going to be a mix. Some devices will run okay, but some are just awful. Another thing I just wonder. Okay, so it has been powered on quite a long time now. Two LEDs have been... Yep, two LEDs have been, let's say, to the level that it is charged up. But let's plug this thing into the audio or AV out. The weird thing is that we have the audio or the AV out at the bottom. But how about the AV out? Yeah, this is absolutely a nightmare. Don't know what's going on with this thing, but you can just see there is no AV coming in. Can be due with a bad cable, but what a mess. So the weird thing is that we need to reset the device itself. It sounds kind of logical, but yeah, it's weird. So somehow this thing is completely one hot mess to the AV out. Where we do have audio, but there is no controls. So what is maybe possible that we need to plug in a micro USB controller, and they are not included in the kit, so we cannot go any further.